I woke up a little earlier than normal this morning and I am enjoying the peacefulness of a quiet, calm house. Today marks the beginning of a very busy week for the family. Everyone is finally back to work and school full-time, and I am just taking a few moments to review the schedule and get myself prepared to tackle all the things that need to happen this coming week. As I start making the lunches for the day, I'm contemplating how I need to switch up my daily routine to accommodate the class schedules with all of the drop-offs and the pickups and all that entails. No big changes by any means, but just enough of a change that I need to reevaluate how I'm going to proceed through each of my days, just so that I can make sure that everything is going to run smoothly. Making food in the mornings never fails to pique the interest of the babies and coax them out of bed. As you can see here, Quinn has made her way down to the kitchen to see what I'm up to. Once Raymer shows up, we'll get them some breakfast and then we'll take them outside for a little running around. One of my absolute favorite morning chores is hand washing dishes. I know it's not a real popular thing these days, but I find it to be a very enjoyable task. I find it a peaceful and calming time for myself, and it just sets me up for a good day. It doesn't take me more than 10 minutes or so, since normally I'm only dealing with the dinner dishes left over from the night before, since the rest of the dishes from the previous day I had already dealt with. But this little slice of time is just for me, and I have to confess I miss it on those busy days when I don't have the time to indulge. And since I'm sharing favorites, let me just say breakfast is my favorite meal to prepare. And this morning I'm going to be using this new CookSet sent to me by REDMOND to try out, which I am super excited about. It's a 4-piece stainless steel set that has a non-stick ceramic surface, and just look at how gorgeous this is. I love the mirrored finish. That is so pretty. The set comes with both a 10-inch fry pan and a smaller 8-inch fry pan as well. And they each come with a glass lid, which I feel is a very nice feature. Seriously, how gorgeous is that? I almost feel bad about cooking in it, but I'm going to anyways because I am hungry. The fry pan itself has got a nice weight to it. Not so much that you have to use 2 hands, but it's definitely substantial. It feels sturdy and not at all flimsy like some fry pans can. I love the way it fits in my hand with a nice sturdy handle. Plus, I love the fact that you can hang it up, which is super handy. The lid also has a nice sturdy handle. It comes with a vent, which is so nice. And the whole thing just seems like it's constructed very nicely. So for breakfast today, I'm going to make something super simple, just a quick and easy, yet yummy and delicious breakfast sandwich. The family and I can't seem to get enough of these lately. It seems like whenever we're hungry, we're like, oh, let's have a breakfast sandwich. So I like to make these up in the morning. I'll pop them in the refrigerator, and then whenever people get up, they can just grab one, heat it up, and they're good to go for the day. Today I'm using bacon, but sometimes I like to switch it up. I'll use Canadian bacon, sausage, ham, turkey. It doesn't really matter. Whichever way I make it, it always turns out so good and so delicious. You can also switch things up by using different types of bread. Today I'm using a Tuscan loaf, which is super yummy. Doesn't it look delicious? Oh man, I cannot wait. My mouth is watering already. I, of course, had to wash the dishes right after breakfast to keep the kitchen nice and tidy. The pans washed up beautifully, and I am super impressed with the overall quality and performance of this set. They are most definitely a great addition to our home. I will leave a link down in the description box if you want to check them out more in detail. Now that breakfast is over, it is time to get on to my projects for the day. And the first thing I want to do is make myself a riser for my kitchen counter. I found a board that is a 1x12, which I cut about 22 inches long. And then I found this little bag of wood candlesticks, which I'm going to use as legs. I'm going to be using some black paint, and I'm going to give all the pieces I have a base coat with this color. Once the base coat had dried, I took some white craft paint and a chip brush and added a top coat. For this step, I needed to move quickly because I'm going to be scraping off all the excess paint, so I just needed to get it on quick, and it didn't have to be perfect. Next, I took a plastic putty knife and ran it over the top of my riser to take off as much of the paint as I could. And then I followed up with a metal putty knife, which takes off a little bit more, especially if the paint has already started to dry. You can kind of scrape it off with it. And I just kept doing that until I liked the look. Once all my pieces and parts were nicely distressed, I went ahead with a pencil and marked where I wanted each of the legs to sit. And then I dug out my Gorilla Glue and applied some glue to each of the legs. I like to use a little paintbrush to apply the glue because never fails, the glue always seems to get stuck in the applicator tip, and then it got a big mess to deal with. So I just do it with a little paintbrush, and it seems to work very nicely. Once all the legs were glued on, I very carefully flipped the whole thing over and set a couple bags of flour on top to weigh it down while the glue dried. I'm going to let this sit for a couple hours while I work on my next project, which is this beautiful vintage fabric calendar, which I want to make into a pillow so I can actually use it because I don't have a lot of display space on my walls. So I thought this would be a cute and fun way to use it. So I folded the whole thing in half, wrong sides together, and pinned it in place. Then I'll take it over to my sewing machine and sew along the 3 edges, making sure to leave an opening so that I'm able to stuff the pillow. I sewed the seam about 1/4 of an inch in from the edges. This makes a nice little decorative edge when the pillow is finished. I sewed the seam with a basting stitch because I may in the future want to take the pillow apart and reuse the calendar as it was intended, and it seemed to hold together just fine. I then filled the pillow with some fiber fill and then sewed the opening closed. And now it is the perfect decorative pillow for the bench in my kitchen. I absolutely love the design, and the colors are absolutely perfect for what I'm using in my kitchen right now. Plus, I can turn it around and use the calendar side if I wanted to as well. Super cute if you ask me. At this point, the riser has been pretty much drying all day, so I think it is ready to go. I'm going to put it in the middle of my counter and get it decorated. I picked up this bunch of flowers this morning when I was at the grocery store, and I think they are so beautiful. It has been so long since I have had fresh flowers, and I just could not resist any longer. After trimming off the ends of the flowers, I picked up the whole bunch of flowers and just plopped them inside this white crock that I found at the thrift store, and I think it's the perfect little combo. The flowers look gorgeous, and the whole thing went together quick and easy, which is how I like my projects to go. On the opposite side of the riser, I added a decorative plate and topped that with a brass candlestick and a twist candle, which I think are so fun. And to dress it up a bit, I added this glass chimney. To round out the look, I added a fun vintage clock, at which point I realized that the candle and the flowers were the same height, which doesn't look the best, so I decided to add a stack of plates underneath the flowers, which will elevate them slightly, making them a little taller than the candle, and I think it makes a nicer look. And finally, just for fun, I added a set of vintage salt and pepper shakers because why not? And I am so pleased with how this display turned out. I want to thank you all for watching today's video and stopping by to hang out with me. I appreciate it so very, very much. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I would love to know what you think down in the comments. Until next time, have yourself a fabulous day, and I will see you very soon. Bye now.